Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. It is the player ratings West Ham United 0 Everton 1 today at the London Stadium. A fantastic win for Sean Dyche's Everton side. A win that was massively needed after what has been a pretty difficult week to be an Evertonian. We don't have to go through why it's been a difficult week. We all know the reasons behind that. But it was imperative that Everton went out today and put a performance in, showed a bit of fight, showed a bit of effort, showed a bit of determination, showed a bit of battle, got at West Ham, had a go at them, and went out there with a game plan to try and take home all 3 points. And that is exactly what we did today. It was a really professional performance, a really well-managed performance, and a game of football that we definitely deserved to win. I thought Sean Dyche managed the game perfectly. I thought defensively we were absolutely fantastic. Jared Branthwaite putting in another incredible performance today. He gets better and better as the weeks go on, this fella, and the fact that he's just signed a new contract means that if anyone wants him, then it's 100 million, 150 million pound before we even have a conversation, mate, because that kid is absolutely phenomenal. He really is phenomenal. Amadou Onana was absolutely exceptional. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring a beauty, but we'll get into all of that in this video. But like I said, really important win, one that we desperately needed after the defeat last week and everything that followed it in the week. Against a difficult team, you know, there was a stat that the Sky Sports commentators kept bringing up during this game, and it was that West Ham have not failed to score in any of their games so far this season. They've scored in every single game, and in those last 5 or 10 minutes, they reiterated that point 2 or 3 times, and that just shows how solid of a defensive performance it was by Everton. A fantastic win, a really good performance, and yeah, let's get straight into the player ratings. We haven't got Fan Hub today. We can't get the screen up because obviously I'm remote, I'm not at home, I'm not at my computer. However, please do go and check out Fan Hub. I once again got 11 out of 11 predictions right for the predicted starting 11. I won a little mystery pack for that. If you got 11 right, I'm sure you've won a little mystery pack as well. Get over to Fan Hub, top line of the description, use the code THE-UBP in the golden ticket section to get access straight to the app, and yeah, follow us over there, the Mighty Blues. We're trying to build a community over there. You can do your predicted starting 11s, you can predict results for games. The more predictions you get right, the more points you get. You can exchange for rewards such as hoodies, tops, beers as well. You know, you can exchange it for all sorts, so don't forget to check out Fan Hub. But anyway, let's get straight into it. Jordan Pickford, not an awful lot to do today. Jordan, not an awful lot to do. I am going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he had a couple of moments where he needed to be alive, where he needed to be awake, where he needed to be, you know, concentrating. And although they weren't particularly... you know, they weren't particularly troublesome for him. I'm talking about the Ben Rama save in the last 10 minutes. I'm talking about a couple of opportunities Jared Bowen had that he had to come and collect. There wasn't many chances that you looked at and thought that should trouble Jordan Pickford. Listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Jordan Pickford is one of the best goalkeepers on the planet. It's as simple as that. If you understand football, you understand how good of a goalkeeper Jordan Pickford is. And therefore, you know, the saves that he made today were saves that you would typically expect him to make. However, difficult in a game sometimes as a goalkeeper when you are, you know, when nothing really is happening and, you know, your team's 1-0 up and the game's a little bit slow and you're managing the game well. And then when the opposition have that one opportunity, it's difficult to keep your concentration and to remain obviously focused. And I thought Jordan did that really well today. So even though he didn't have an awful lot to do, I thought his focus and his concentration was great in those moments that we needed them. So yeah, he's getting an 8 as well. Plus, he's getting an added bonus for calling out Kudus for throwing himself on the floor unnecessarily and diving, even though that now is a yellow card. So it's now no longer a yellow card to dive, but it's now a yellow card to call out a diver, which is really interesting, isn't it? But yeah, thought he was really good today. Left back then, Vitali Mikeno. Again, I'm going to give Vitali Mikeno an 8.5. I thought he was really solid today. And these aren't inflated scores, by the way, because we've won the game today. And this isn't an inflated score because it's my birthday weekend and Everton have won and I'm dead happy. I think once again, Vitali Mikeno has been absolutely fantastic today. Another really, really solid performance, and it's his third, fourth game on the bounce where we've been able to sit here and go, that was a really, really solid performance today by Vitali Mikeno. I thought he was excellent in the Merseyside derby, subdued Mohamed Salah really, really well. I know Salah ended up scoring a couple of goals, but neither of them were at fault of Vitali Mikeno. His one-on-one defending in that game was absolutely fantastic. I thought he'd been brilliant in the couple of weeks that, were prior to the Merseyside derby. I thought he was absolutely fantastic again today. Absolutely fantastic. His one-on-one defending against Jared Bowen at times was really, really solid. He was there when we needed him to be there. He was always in position. He was getting forward. Put a couple of half balls into the box. Nothing really that caused any issue. We know obviously his strength isn't particularly going forward, but defensively he was absolutely fantastic. And I suppose the criticism that's always been levelled at Vitali Mikeno is, well, if you're not going to be particularly great going forward, which some fullbacks aren't. Some fullbacks are great going forward, not so great defensively. Some fullbacks aren't very good going forward, but are much better defensively. I think a lot of us always said if Mikeno was not particularly going to be very attacking, he's not going to be like Luca Dean was or like Leighton Baines was, then he has to be really, really solid defensively. He has to work on his defensive work. He has to improve that. And I think in the last few months or so, he really, really has done that. And in the last few weeks, he's been absolutely fantastic. He's been absolutely fantastic. And I think he thoroughly deserves his score of 8.5 today. Into the centre of the defence then, Jared Branthwaite. I think it's really difficult to give him anything other than a 10 today. I'll be brutally honest. I think there's a couple of players that could have got very, very high scores today, and there's a couple of players that I'm going to give a 10 to. Spoiler alert. Jared Branthwaite is one of them. As I've just said before, this lad just keeps getting better and better and better as the weeks go on, doesn't he? He really, really does. Somebody that was pivotal in our summer recruitment, I felt, because we spoke an awful lot in the summer about Jared Branthwaite and about how a decision needed to be made. He hadn't had a lot of Premier League experience before this season. He'd had a couple of games a couple of years ago. He'd gone out on loan a couple of times, and we all sat here and we all said, we've got two options with Jared. We either sell him and get some money for him. We'd have probably got in the range of 15 to 20 million pound for him maybe, or we keep him and he has to start week in, week out. He can't be kept and be on the bench. He can't be kept and be in the under-21s. If he's kept at the football club, he's got to start week in, week out. If not, then, go and find a buyer and make some money on him. And I think had Everton have received a 20-25 million pound bid for Jared Branthwaite in the summer, a lot of us would have probably sat down and gone, right, okay, let's analyse this. How wrong would we have been? Thank everything in the world, every slice of luck and good fortune, thank it all for the decision to keep Jared Branthwaite at this football club. Not only has he been absolutely unbelievable in the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, he's been unstoppable and he's getting better and better as the games go on. I had 10 clearances today, 10 clearances. That's unfathomable. But also, if you're looking at it from a business and a monetary point of view, and I'm not looking at it like that because I hope Jared Branthwaite stays at Everton for his whole career and becomes Everton captain because I think he's great. But as I said, you would have maybe got £20 million maximum for him in the summer. If he continues these performances, you will get over £100 million for him. If somebody wants him, he's got a new contract at the football club. He's very clearly settled at the football club. I don't think he wants to leave, and I don't want to sell him. But my point is, if he continues this way, then we've got a player on our hands that is truly, truly phenomenal. An incredibly talented young centre-half. And I thought today he was absolutely fantastic. He put Antonio on his arse in the opening 15 minutes. And I've watched Antonio rip Everton defences to bits for 3, 4, 5. I've seen him put Michael Keane on his arse. I've seen him put a number of Everton defenders in really precarious and difficult situations. Jared Branthwaite come on today and just barged them once and he had to go off with an injury. He's phenomenal, Jared. He is absolutely phenomenal. His size, his physicality, his desire, his commitment to the football club, signed a new contract recently. like I said, I hope we can keep this kid for a long time, because he is somebody that will become, I genuinely firmly believe, will become one of the best centre-halves in this country in the very near future. And today he was outstanding again. He was absolutely outstanding. He plays football and he defends and he portrays himself and he looks like somebody. He looks, doesn't he? When I say this, you might be a little bit confused, but he plays like a 35-year-old centre-half. And by that, what I mean is he plays like somebody who's had 10, 15 years experience in the Premier League, won 5 or 6 Premier League titles, played in the highest level of football in the Champions League. He's just so, and he has played in the Champions League, but he's just so cool and calm, and nothing phases him, nothing panics him. He doesn't play like a 21, 22-year-old centre-back who's, you know, just had his first break into a Premier League side. He plays like a player that has been there, done it, and wore the t-shirt before, and it just doesn't faze him. He's absolutely unbelievable, he really is. Anyway, next to him, James Tarkowski. I'm going to give him an 8. Didn't think he was as involved as Jared. Didn't think he was as impactful on the game as Jared Branthwaite was. But I still thought it was a solid performance by James Tarkowski. Still thought he battled. Still thought he worked hard. Thought he put himself about. Thought he made the right decisions on the ball. I was really impressed today by James Tarkowski's desire to be in the referee's face. I think there was a couple of moments today in the game where decisions didn't go our way, and I don't think Stuart Atwell refereed this game particularly poorly. I'll be honest, there's not often that I give a referee credit, and I'm not just doing it because we've won the game, but I genuinely don't think he refereed the game particularly poorly today. But there were a couple of moments where he allowed West Ham to get away with some stuff. He allowed Kudus to get away with throwing himself on the floor. He allowed a couple of other challenges, and every time he allowed it, Tarkowski was over in his face. He was over in his face, telling him why that was a foul, why that was a dive, why that player's just jumped 2 feet into him. You know, he was quite keen to be in the referee's face, almost as if to say, we're not getting done like we did last week, it's not happening, no chance. And other than that, I thought he was really solid, put himself about, similar to Jared, caused that West Ham United forward line a lot of issues. They really struggled to get through, you know, those two centre-halves. They really struggled to deal with them. They really struggled to deal with the desire, the fight, the battle, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, you know, another really solid performance by Tarky in there. That partnership of Tarkowski and Branthwaite is one that, if Everton can keep those two players fit and healthy, then I don't think that partnership will be broken up at all this season. Certainly not in games that we sort of need to win. You might see Michael Keane come in against Burnley because it's likely to happen, but in big games, you know, the latter stages of cup competitions or Premier League games, I think that's our centre-back pairing now for hopefully the next 5-6 years, because maybe not 5 years in Tarkowski's case, but certainly Branthwaite's case, because the pair of them are really solid and they're playing really well at the moment. Anyway, Nathan Patterson, I'm going to give him a 7.5 today. I thought it was a really solid performance. I did, obviously stepping in for Ashley Young, who got sent off against Liverpool, and there was big questions about Nathan today. Could he step in? Could he do the job? If he steps in and he plays really well today, then ultimately there's not really a case for Ashley Young to be brought back into this team. I thought he was solid. I thought he had a couple of moments, I'll be honest, in the opening 10-15 minutes of the game. Like I said in the instant match reaction, West Ham had a period at the start of the game where they looked lively, where they were getting forward, where they were trying to create stuff, where they were trying to put us under pressure. And I thought there was a couple of moments in there where he looked a little bit shaky, he looked a little bit nervous. There was one where Paqueta, I think, chipped it over him and he looked a little bit surprised by it. But as the game went on and as we managed the game much better and as we become calmer and as we sort of started to nullify West Ham's attack a lot more, I thought he was really solid. I thought he was really solid. Don't think he put a foot wrong. Thought he was getting forward well. Thought he was clearing the ball well. Thought his one-on-one defending after that point, as I said, after that 15-20 minutes was really solid. Yeah, I thought it was a good performance. And like I said, for me, I'd have him in there next week now. I wouldn't have Ashley Young back in there. Did I say Ashley Cole before or Ashley Young? Ashley Young. But yeah, I wouldn't have Ashley Young back in there. Personally, for me, whether or not the manager does that, maybe I'll put Ashley Young in for Burnley because it's a cup game, and then Patterson will play the following Premier League game. Who knows? But I thought he was really solid today. I thought he made a good account of himself. As I said, a couple of hairy moments, but recovered really well, and ultimately his performance was really solid in the end. Into the midfield then, Amadou Onana. I said before when we were talking about Jared Branthwaite, that there'll be a couple of players in this video that will receive 10 out of 10 ratings. Amadou Onana is another one of those players. 10 out of 10 for Amadou Onana today. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. The best player, the best performance in an Everton shirt I think he's ever put in. And I know, and I'm fully aware, I've said that before, I'm fully aware, I've sat here before in previous videos and said that was Onana's best game, that was Onana's best game, but today he was absolutely excellent, wasn't he? He battled for every ball, defensively he was brilliant, he was even getting forward, he wasn't particularly involved when he got forward, but he was getting forward, he was putting himself in those areas to be a nuisance, he was using his physicality, he was using his strength, he was using his pace, and what he was doing really, really well was what we give a lot of credit to Garner for, and this isn't a point to slag off Garner because he hasn't played for a couple of games, so there would be no reason to do that, but one thing that we really, really credit Garner for, and we give him a lot of praise for, is that ability to break the ball up in and around the edge of our box. When the ball falls to an opposition player on the edge of the box and it looks like they could have a shot, or it looks like they could put a cross in, or it looks like they could play a pass, Garner is always the first one there to break that up. He's always the first one there to stop that from happening. Onana did that perfectly today. Absolutely perfectly. Every time West Ham had that ball on the edge of the box, every time West Ham were flirting with having a shot at goal or, creating an opportunity, Onana was there to take it off them, to run, to win it back, to use his pace, to use his physicality, to get Everton up the pitch, to get us forward. That is the type of Amadou Onana performance we want to see week in, week out. And I know there's a lot of Blues out there that say, oh, we do see that week in, week out, you just don't see it, you just don't comment on it, but I think a lot of people would agree that today he was a level above. He really, really was a level above Amadou Onana today. He was absolutely fantastic. James Garner then next to him, I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought he battled well. I thought he worked hard. I thought he put himself about. Maybe he's fell victim today of not really being involved in the game, but not performing badly, but because he's not really involved in the game and we're not seeing him a lot, you don't really remember much of his performance, so therefore you maybe feel the need to criticise it. I don't think he was bad. I think when he had the ball, he was okay. He was a couple of clever movements with the ball, a couple of clever bits of play, passages of play, etc. But it does have to be said, he wasn't anywhere near as involved as Amadou Onana was. He wasn't anywhere near as involved as Doucouré wasn't. Doucouré I thought was had a really good game, not as good as Onana. But Garner I thought was a little bit silent in this one, not really as involved as we would have liked him to be. When he was involved, he done well, he moved the ball well, his passing was okay, he was intercepting, but for large parts of the game I think he was a little bit absent today. And again, you can afford to have a player that's like that when everybody else is at the top of their game, but not his liveliest of displays, let's put it that way, not his liveliest of displays. Doucouré then, going to give Dukes a 7.5. Thought he worked hard, thought he put himself about, thought he won the ball well back at times. He had that shot, of course, at 1-0, which had he have scored, he'd have got a higher rating for a start, but obviously, again, he would have increased his goal tally this season. I think he still is our top goal scorer. Don might have just equalled him today, but I'm pretty sure he still is our top goal scorer for this season. But yeah, again, a hard work and battle and grind and performance by Dukes. Not technically his best, not his most involved in front of goal or defensively, but a hard work and battling. A lot of desire, a lot of fight, a lot of hard work, a lot of grit, a lot of determination, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think he deserves credit for that. The wingers then, McNeil. I'm actually going to give McNeil an 8. Now, a lot of people will say he wasn't really involved, he didn't really do much, he wasn't great technically, he wasn't great, he didn't really create much. Said in the instant match reaction before, and I'll say it again, the word legend gets thrown about a lot, and I'm not in this statement trying to say that Dwight McNeil is an Everton legend. By the way, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, when the word legend gets brought up in conversation, there's always one thing that is sort of brought up, and that is, have they won a trophy at the football club? And for us Evertonians, in the last 25 years, certainly the last 25 years of my life, nobody has won a trophy at Everton Football Club. So the nearest thing we've had to legends are players that have gone out there week in, week out and given their absolute everything for the shirt. Players like Tim Cahill, Leighton Baines, Seamus Coleman, Phil Jagielka, players that we all look back on, people my age look back on and think, wow, they're the players that I idolised growing up. They didn't ever win anything with Everton, but their commitment and desire and determination and fight and battle for this football club was what created that connection between us as the fans and them as the player. Dwight McNeil has got that. Now, as I said, I'm not saying he's an Everton legend. He's got a long way to go for that. He's got to do it over 10, 15 years like a lot of those players have done. However, he's got that grit. He's got that personality. He's got that determination. He's got that desire. He's got that want to, even in the final 10 minutes of this game, when he was shattered, when he was blown out of his arse, when he was visibly tired, he still was chasing every ball. He was still wanting to win the ball back. He was still battling. He was still working hard. He was still putting himself into challenges. He had a moment with 5 or 10 minutes to go where, he was chasing the ball down. He won it back and he's chasing the attacker. He has a shot. It gets deflected. He wins it back. Not once does he go, hell, I'm shattered here. I'm just going to take a break and let somebody else deal with it. He didn't. He persisted. He kept on working. He kept on battling. He kept on fighting from the first minute to the last minute. And I think he deserves an immense amount of credit for that. Not massively involved in terms of creation or in terms of having a massive impact on the game, but his battle, his desire, his work rate is second to none. And if he continues to do that, he will, and I've got no problem in saying this, he will be very, very fondly thought of amongst Evertonians for a long, long time. Jack Addison on the other side then, I'm going to give him I'll give him a 6.5, same as James Garner. Don't think he was as involved as what McNeil was. Still think he worked hard. Still think he put himself about. He obviously had a couple of chances in the first half, which he should do so much better with. And he should do so much better with, by the way. The first one, it's a 3-on-1. And he somehow manages to try and take the shot. And obviously it's saved comfortably. The second one, again, is a little bit of poor decision making. He should do better with both of those opportunities, in my opinion. But his work rate was there. His desire was there. His fight was there. His battle was there. He gave everything. He worked hard. Again, himself was absolutely shattered with 10, 15 minutes to go. But he still worked hard. He still battled. He still had a go. And yeah, I think he deserves an immense amount of credit for that. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin, again, 10 out of 10. And you might say, why, Cam? Didn't really do much. Scored the winning goal, yeah, but didn't really do much. Wasn't really involved. That's why. Because this wasn't a game where Everton created 5, 6, 7, 8 chances for Dom. We had the better chances in the game, but 2 of them fell to, Jack Addison, and 1 of them fell to Abdoulaye Doucouré. Dom had 1 clear chance. And I wouldn't even call it a clear chance. He had 1 half chance. He was on the edge of the box. He had 3 West Ham players around him. He had 1 half chance. He uses a brilliant turn. He gets a shot off. It's pinpoint accuracy into the bottom corner. And he scores the goal, which ends up winning the game for Everton. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. Because even though he hasn't had a massive involvement before that, and he didn't have a massive involvement after that, the one moment we needed him to produce in, he produced and he scored the goal that's won us the game today and got us all 3 points. And that is massive. That is absolutely massive for Everton Football Club, and it's massive for this game today. It really, really is. And like I said, I thought Dom was exceptional. I love Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is one of the best centre forwards in the Premier League. I really, really do. When he's fit and when he's available and when he's firing and when he's physically fit in himself, not just injury free but fit in himself, I think he's absolutely fantastic. I really, really do. And he showed that once again today. And then onto the bench, Chimiti, I'll give him a 6. Come on, ran round, worked hard. Not really sure why it was Chimiti and not Beto, but there you go. Maybe the manager just thought, you know what, I'll give him a go and see what he can do. But yeah, I thought he'd come on, ran around, worked hard, bit of battling, not really much going on, didn't do an awful lot. But yeah, had a go. But there you go. We're going to leave it there. If you have enjoyed this one, please do leave a like. It does only take a second. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Go and check out the play ratings if you haven't already. That is on, the instant match reaction if you haven't already. That is up on the channel now. Go and check that out. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe as well. That would mean a huge, huge amount to me. Leave a like if you've enjoyed it. Up the toffees, and we'll see you after.